Welcome, 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 everybody. Friday is here. Friday is upon us. Thank the Maker. The weekend is coming. Hope all of you guys are doing well. A special shout out to the Florida peeps, Mark's Music Obsession. Good to hear that you were okay. Went just east of us, he said, had some medium strong wind and a little high water in the bay, but all is good. Is your boat okay too? I always wondered during big storms, people who own boats, like, how well protected they are and all that. I've seen some footage of like totally decimated piers or whatever like that. So it seems like it's pretty bad. My parents are in Central Florida, and it doesn't seem like it hit that too bad. Actually, I had mentioned earlier this week that I had some relatives there. It's actually my parents are visiting, and I have to keep my phone on ready in case they need anything. But yeah, they just arrived yesterday, and they kind of flew through the beginning of the storm, but it delayed their flight a little bit. But they're cool. Like everything seems okay, and seems like everything's okay with their house. So thank goodness for that. But I know a lot of people were affected by those storms. So hopefully everyone is okay and there's not too much damage. But in particular, Mark's Music Obsession, I was thinking of you and your mom, and just wanted to hear. It was great to hear that you are okay. What's up, Cranberry Langers? Oh, wait. Well, no, I'll just do it in order. Cranberry Langers.
This is a cranberry full of power.
How are you doing? For those of you who did not know, Cranberry Langers streamed a couple days ago, right, Cranberry? Him drawing. He was drawing a skull, which was awesome. Always a great object to practice drawing on. And I wasn't sure. I jumped in the stream a little late, not from the beginning, but I wasn't sure if you were looking from a drawing book or what. But it was great to see you kind of work through it and hit a finished project at the end. It's awesome. It's really great, man. Great that you're trying that out and practicing, and very, very cool to kind of be there in the chat, have the roles reversed a little bit and be there in the chat, and just kind of see you come out with a finished drawing at the end. So it was awesome. It was really fun, and hope you do more of those. Happy Friday, Rocky and chat. That's right. Emo Trash, what's up, Emo Trash? Good to see you. Hopefully your week, your classes went okay this week. Know that there was a couple of bumps in the road with some assignments that you had early in the week, but hopefully that ironed itself out and that you are ready for the weekend, that your animals are all doing okay, that you're not hungry. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, and very grateful that you're here too. Evening to you too. Is it that evening? Is it already for you? I guess so. Heading into the evening, sort of. It is super hot today. Beautiful. Very similar to the day that I went out walking in the city with Marty. Beautiful, beautiful, clear sky day today. We're in like early to mid 70s. Is it early to mid 70s? So pretty hot. And but it's beautiful. But yesterday it was like really foggy, and so it's kind of this like whiplash of temperature, where real foggy and a point where like you can wear a hoodie, and then today is like, oh my gosh, short sleeves and potentially shorts. So, but I love the sun. I love how beautiful it is, and just how gorgeous it is. Lots of people walking out. Just a nice way to start a Friday. So hopefully for you, Emo, you will be catapulted into the weekend in a nice way. Maybe. I don't know if you're going to be hit with some of the weather coming off of Helene going up the East Coast, but anyway, hope you're well. What's up, Adam?
This is Adam.
How much money do I have to donate to pick who we do the next master study on? That's a loaded question. Because one, money is great. Although I can't accept money right now, not monetized. However, we are at, if I'm not mistaken, let me just do a quick check. I think we're at 338, which is awesome. 338. 338. So good. 338 subscribers. But yeah, so I can't take money right now, but is it that important for you to see me struggle on Master Studies? I'm going to be on this Eisner for a while, so we have a little bit of time to work details out. Maybe I'll hit 500 subscribers before I finish this page because I have 5 panels left. Not easy panels. I'm hoping I can get through 2 this afternoon. We'll see. 2 smaller ones, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's an interesting question, Adam. I do have in mind the next master study that I want to do, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little frightened about opening that door, that Pandora's box. And then Mark's music obsession, just to circle back around. What's up, Mark? I'm glad to hear that you're okay. Glad to hear that you are not horribly affected by the weather. But yeah, it seems like it's passed. It's fine. I raised the lift because I knew we would miss the really high surge and wind. Yeah, I saw some of those, and it gives me. I've talked to you guys before about dealing or going through a few floods in my lifetime, kind of traumatic floods. But anytime I see video of rising waters or water on the street and cars driving through water, I get into these PTSD, and I start like looking for my water boots and a rake to try and clear the drains. Like it really gets me. And it'll take a while for me to ever get over that fear of rising water. So some of the footage that I saw of how fast the waters were rising. It wasn't even raining that hard. It was just the storms and the waves coming in and hitting land. It was just like, oh my gosh, pretty scary. So anyway, great. Glad to hear your boat's okay. And I know that Katie is in a couple weeks swinging by your neck of the woods. So hopefully the weather's really nice by the time she gets and arrives. Adam says skulls are tough. Yeah, they're really hard. They're so fascinating. I mean, you wonder why the old masters did so much like figure drawing and study of skulls and skeletons and anatomy, because it's like the human body is so complicated and it's such a great subject. Or even like drawing, sometimes I'll tell people just draw your hand or draw your feet or draw, they're with you all the time. You don't have to go to a figure drawing session to draw your own hands. Draw yourself, self-portraits. Really difficult. So skulls are, yeah, they're hard. Cranberry Lander says, I was looking through a drawing book. I didn't have enough confidence to draw freehand in detail. You did fine, man. No problem. You did fine. If you have like a toy skull or a model skull, I know you can buy those. But and Halloween is here. You can grab a skull from like a Halloween store. But it's always neat to like look at it from different angles and draw it from different angles to break it down into its like simple shapes and rotate that in space. And then as you kind of understand like how the shapes make up that skull and how you can rotate them in space, then when you start drawing faces and heads, you'll remember like, oh yeah, the skull's underneath there and that part of the cranium and is like comes out here and the eye socket lines up with here and all that stuff starts coming together. So yeah, if you can grab an actual skull and like draw it as opposed to just drawing from a drawing of a skull or a picture of a skull, it's super helpful. Mentioned the storm and now I'm looking at the radars. Whenever I look at YouTube, like whatever is live streaming at the time, most of them are like either comics related or whatever my interests are, right? Things that I've subscribed to. But lately, since the storm was coming, I think like 80% of what showed up in my feed, in the live feed, is like storm watching and storm radar. And there was even one stream I was watching where it divided the screen up into four windows, and like you saw actual live cameras of the storm hitting at different. It was a little bit like, whoa, this is the world we live in. I think just because information is so instant now, which is awesome, it's also really frightening because I guess I would think like before technology became so advanced, when there was a storm, you wouldn't really get the real time effect of it with all these cameras and people's, first accounts, or like their tweets or whatever. And so I feel like anxiety levels were not as high as they are now with 24-hour news cycles and social media and webcams and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, the impending doom is coming and I can see it from all angles at all times, every part of the day. It's really frightening. Don't. Wait, I was looking through it. I don't have enough confidence to draw up freehand detail. Plus, I need to use the drawing book I was given to use. Oh, okay. Well, it's cool. It's not hot, but very humid here. This is like day 4 or 5 in a row we've been completely overcast. All right. I don't know if I prefer heat over humidity. Humidity is rough. It's really rough. Kind of saps the strength out of you a little bit. I don't know. It's been raining off and on for the entire duration. Well, all right, keeping it cool. Happy 338th, Rocky. Yes, it's all because of you guys. The building blocks, the foundation of this channel. It's really great. It's really, really exciting just to kind of look back. I was actually watching, as I do, some older streams, and some of them were so bad. I knew they would be, looking back on them. And I'll probably look back at these streams and think, wow, those are so bad. But my earlier streams were so bad. I was like sleepy in most of them because I was recording them late night. But then I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm hitting, 75 subscribers. And it's weird to think that here we are at 338. So thank you all for sticking around or being here or joining. It's so appreciated. I know it's not... I know everybody's time is valuable. It's something you cannot purchase. It is something that people freely give when they want to. So I'm really grateful that you guys are willing to spend a little bit of your day with me doing crazy things about comics and just kind of part of my life. And I just noticed some scratch marks on my page, you little jerks. One of my cats jumped up on my desk yesterday, and I shooed him off. I'm like, no, you can't. And he kind of scrambled off, and I just noticed some indentations in the page. You little jerk. I hate these cats. Mr. Monkey Boy, what's up? 1969.
Monkey in French.
How are you, Mr. Monkey Boy? Awesome to see you. This Friday, we're going to get some inks down today. I personally don't mind it. Since it's been dark, it's helped contribute to some of the lighting in the hallway drawings here. Oh, yeah. Diffused lighting from the overcast. That's nice. Saying hello, everybody. Poor Rocky is the opposite of me. I see craziness happening, and the anarchist in me goes, hell yeah. Yeah, I realize I'm kind of like an orderly. I like order. I'm not into, I can be spontaneous. I'm not totally like rigid, but there's certain things that I like order, and things that are especially fast paced, like all attention everywhere, gets me a little anxious. So yeah, I definitely would never, ever, ever categorize myself as an anarchist. I don't think I would survive well. Although society is kind of getting crazy that way, but yeah, the craziness makes me a little tense. Got a couple of the radar websites saved from when I took meteorology. I remember being a weatherman. I hated it. I was a weatherman for my 5th grade class. We were like assigned jobs, and I got the job of being a weatherman for a week or something like that. We had to like track the weather, and I distinctly remember coming out of that week, like nothing really mattered of what was predicted. And I think that's the case now. That was like I was in 5th grade. So I don't know, almost 40 years ago. Yikes. No, not 40 years ago. Maybe like 35 years ago. But yeah, I was like, these weathermen don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're never predicting correct. And so I at that point I was like, I never want to be a weatherman. That's just pointless. So I don't even know why they bother trying to predict weather. We're not getting out to have physical activity, which reduces stress. Yep, I agree. I agree. When you're sitting in your room all day staring at the screen, hunched over, oof, shrimp bodying it, then yeah, stress can build up. Dry heat is no problem at all, says Mark's music obsession. He knows the humidity from Florida, so yeah, he'd rather have the dry heat. It's much smoother on your show. Thanks, Cranberry. I'm surprised so many people stuck around from the old shows, because there was some good stuff. There was some interesting stuff, but there was definitely some slow stuff. But you know, it is what it is. You got to start somewhere, and hopefully you get better over time. Shant was the one who told me, like, you just got to do it, and you're gonna look back at these old shows. He just kept saying, just look at my first shows, and you'll see. Oh, I just saw some fur. You'll see where I started, and that was part of the motivation for me to just do it. So yeah, it's really funny. You think like you get everything prepared, and okay, I got it. Feels good, looks good, but then like you look a couple months later, and you're like, oof. Not good. Mr. Monkey Boy is at his comic shop. Oh, hold on a second. Let me try and I need to take this call. Whoops. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. I had to take that call. Like I told you guys, I had to kind of be on call a little bit for my family at this particular moment. Not able to totally quarantine them out because I'm streaming. So sorry about that. I should have put on a video or something, but oh well. There we go. I'm gonna look back at this in a couple months and be like, oof, not a good idea, Rocky. Mr. Monkey Boy is at his comic shop. Mr. Monkey Boy, you seem to be one of the people in my audience who can get to a comic book shop pretty regularly, which is great. Or maybe you work there. Do you work at a comic book shop? That would be so fun. I always thought like, well, I don't know. I think it would be fun, but maybe it wouldn't, but it seems like it would be fun. But you seem to be able to get to a comic book shop, so that's cool. Hopefully you're picking up some great stuff. I still have to get through that whole stack of everything that I went over on Wednesday. And I actually was distracted and was reading a little bit of something else. I got too much stuff to catch up on. It's really crazy. Mark says, I'm watching but modifying my electric tow truck I use for work, doubling the battery capacity for longer daily range. Wow. Electric tow truck? Like a Cybertruck? That would be awesome. I always want to see it. What is it? I see Cybertrucks quite a bit in the city here. A lot of people have them, and you either love them or you hate them, and I kind of love them. And but I've not been inside one yet, so I really want to do that and kind of see how they work. My sister just told me she went in one, and she said like there's no more like switches or like signal handles or anything. It's all touchpad, touchscreen operated, which is kind of crazy. Because I'm like, well, what if that doesn't work? Then the car is pretty much useless, right? So maybe that's the point of an electric car, or not the point, but maybe that's the whole thing with an electric car. But That's cool. It's okay, Rocky. That's why I'm your derailer. I'll keep you balanced. Nice. I need that for sure, and much appreciated. It's on the big TV and AV system, so I can see and hear no problem. Oh, okay. Here we are. 5.1 1080p for Mark's house. Conditions can literally change on a dime. Give them a little grace. I know. I know. Meteorology is literally just a constant testimony that God, that's right. It definitely is. It just goes to show, like, we think we know what is happening or that we can predict what the future is. And God's like, nope, nope, here's a storm. The storm's gone. So yeah, I totally agree. It's a constant reminder. And yeah, we still try. We still try. We try and put like nice infographics and you know, trying a lot of data, and it just doesn't work. Okay, let's see. It's the fuzz on the other line. You left too much evidence of the bankruptcy. I did. Oh, sure. Taking calls when we take. I'm sorry. I apologize. Werewolf by Night. Oh, do you like that one? That it didn't totally. That one has a red band version too, right? Werewolf by Night. That one didn't. I didn't look at that one, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. Like I've told you guys this many a times. Not a big fan of the horror genre, so I wasn't really interested in picking up that book. But I know they did a red band version. I should have looked at just flipped through the book in general, but that's cool. Let me know how it is. My friend and I saved a comic book shop, kept it in business through supply choices. Wow. Like single-handedly buying all the supplies? That's awesome. Yeah, I just heard or I saw on social media, Invisible Jet Comics, she still has like her window of deliveries. She's still like trying to get back up and running and stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can try and visit sometime this weekend, just see if she's around. But hopefully it's going well, that or at least progressing back to normalcy. As a child that's grown up in my dad's pickup my entire life, I hate the Cybertrucks. I understand. I understand. When people say they don't like it, I totally get it. But I totally love it. I really do. There's something weird and sci-fi futuristic. It looks obnoxious. Probably is, but there's actually a I think my sister said the friend of hers who got the Cybertruck got the Beast. Like there's a Beast Cybertruck that can go faster. I think the suspension can change and all this kind of stuff. So just it's kind of overindulgent, but cool. This thing looks like a disability scooter, but it's made to tow up to 2,600 pounds and has dual disc brakes. Wow. All right. That sounds different. You didn't even know if your next breath will be your last or what tomorrow will bring. It's true. It's really true. We kind of operate in this. You think life's in control when in reality, if we saw how out of control life is and how much grace keeps us from the chaos, we would be astonished. But it's how quickly we forget and take for granted what we have. So weather also proves that God is the greatest troll. I think nature does too. Like not just weather, but just nature in general. This is it. Oh, wait. I got to see this link. Hold on. I got to see this link. I got to click on it in a different window. Oh! When you said tow truck, I was thinking like a huge truck, like an actual truck. I see now. Got it. That's cool. Totally different picture. If I had to compare that to a Cybertruck, a little different picture. But thanks for the link, Mark. That's hilarious. Informing the owner what titles are popular current events to stock. Cool, that's nice. I think we also discussed breaking into manga, digital comics, and layout of a store. That's cool. So are they still around? Or Did those efforts not totally hold up? That would be great to know. Okay, let's see. Sorry, getting some texts here. Okay, cool, cool. Everybody's okay so far. Okay, it's going to be kind of like that today. Sorry. I apologize, wholeheartedly apologize for the interruptions. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's get to these panels. So I mentioned on my Wednesday comics that I'm going to stick with this closer view. I like it. I like how it felt when I rewatched it. I think that, I don't know, it's just more interesting for me to see how close you can see the artwork and the drawing. I didn't like the... I wondered if it was turning pink because the particular Post-its I had were yellow, and it was trying to white balance off of the yellow Post-its. So I brought white Post-its today. See, is there a color change here? No, maybe not. Yeah, so maybe that'll help. Or maybe it's my flesh tone. Maybe it's the like the majority of the screen being this like brown, like compressed, what do you call this? Balsa wood or whatever. Who knows? But let's see if we get any more weird pink tint changes, which I can't control the exposure on this particular camera setup, so it's gonna happen. And then also I don't like the autofocus, but what are you gonna do? Not too bad. Hey, stop. So I'm gonna try and go. So these were the last. Just to recap, these were the last two. Can you guys see that? Can you see those scratch marks? Look at that little jerk. The little claw marks there. So these were the last two panels that we did. Pretty exciting to see it all. I cannot wait to draw the borders in. That's gonna just like tighten it all together. And then also to do the negative, I'll do those white, the painting in the white when I'm done with inking all the panels. I'll do that last. But I'm really, really excited how this is turning out. It's very difficult, but also really fun to see. So I'm planning on working on these two panels today. This one first, and let's hopefully we can get through both of them. I don't know. So yeah, let's go here. Boom! Look at that. So nice to see it up close. I like it. He's going gangbusters. The comic shop. That's great. Great. You single-handedly help them survive. Amazing. I look like Grape Ape driving it. You need to get like a little like bicycle horn to attach to the handles. Burp, 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 burp. When you... Oh wait, do I have something like that? Hold on. There we go. You need one of those to attach to the front of it, Mark. He's got a cafe, transferred more into gaming over the last year. Okay, people are buying fewer single issues from the big two, stocking those less, has gaming area collectibles. All right. The book rack in Oak Harbor, Washington. Awesome. That's so cool. Kitty wanted to... Kitty is pissing me off a little bit. And he doesn't know. He has no idea. He's just sleeping over there. Both of them. Sleeping here and behind me. Can you guys see? See? Whoa! Almost pulled my mic. I can see. I just moved the wrong way. How about this way? There's one sleeping right there. It's all curled up. Right there. Right on my light. So thanks for nothing. Wanted a little reflective light in the background. And your fat head just took it up. Took it away. Alrighty, let's go. Gosh, my watch. Okay. So, gotta load up my ink. I did order the ink that I was looking for, the Ultra Draw ink. It's not going to come until beginning of October. I don't know what it is with this ink. I think it's because it's meant to fill rapidograph pens. I don't know why it's so popular, but it's really hard to find. But I've seen it recommended by a couple professional inkers before, which is why I want to try it. But I mentioned this before. To be honest, I'm pleasantly surprised and happy with this Winsor Newton ink. Even when I look at these panels after they've dried, it looks really nice. It sits really nice. There hasn't been any issues I've run into of like, that ink is too gunky or too clumpy or not opaque enough. It's really worked well. So if I never get my hands on that dang ink, that's okay. I'll kind of stick with here. I do want to try different ones. And if I do use a nib, then for sure I bet the type of ink is going to affect it. Because they load up totally different than brushes. Let's see, put this here. All right, here we go. Emo Trash says, you can get pissed off? Yes, I can. Especially at my cats. Oh yeah, since I might have your attention at some point, but care to fill me in on what kind of brush you use with your ink? Emo Trash, great question. This is it. This is the king of brushes right now. Winsor Newton Series 7. This is a number 2 brush. They come in different sizes. 9 times out of 10, people recommend the Winsor Newton Sable brush. I've seen it recommended so many times. And so, sorry, just moving my mic here. So yeah, the reason why I would highly recommend it is the quality of the brush hairs has been awesome. They just watch how thin, like this is a newly loaded up brush. Just watch how thin I can get that point on a number 2 brush, which I would say is like, it's not the thinnest you can get. The thinnest brush you can get, they can go down to like 1-0, maybe even 00. I'm not sure if Winsor Newton does that. But this is a number 2, which I'd argue is like a medium size brush. But because of the quality of the sable hairs on it, it allows me to get a very, very fine point. And when I first started these master studies, some of you might remember I had this brush. This is a new brush. And the first one that I had, same exact one, Winsor Newton Series 7, number 2, was really frayed. And I couldn't get this nice point. So I actually returned it and got this replacement. And this one is way better than the first one I got. So yeah, I can't recommend this enough. This brush is amazing. It's on the more expensive side of brushes. It's probably, this one was, I think, like almost $30 for this brush, which is a lot. Normally I get like a pack of like 12 brushes from like 12 cheapo brushes from Hobby Lobby or like Michael's, and but you get what you pay for. And those brushes, well, that's not true. I do have my Hobby Lobby brush that was pretty good, but I've definitely fallen in love with this brush. It's really nice, and it lays the ink down nice and flat, and it also holds a lot of ink. So I load up the brush with my ink, I dip it in the ink, kind of brush the end of the brush on the side of my inkwell to like make sure it's not like overflowing with ink, and then you'll see I can hold a decent amount of ink for a while, and I don't have to reload it. So that's great. not only does it give me a nice fine point, but it also holds a lot of ink, so you don't have to keep reloading the brush every time. Gosh, I'm hearing like this sizzling sound in my ear from the microphone, which I think it's just picking up some ambient sound. It's driving me a little crazy. That's another thing I've noticed about myself, is like I'm pretty sensitive to like sounds. They really bug me if I can't, if I hear like annoying sounds. So my daughter always jokes around that like if I'm in a car, one of my pet peeves is hearing like rattling sounds, like the random rattling sound that comes from the glove compartment box or cup holder. Like, oh, this I have to like stop the car and find out where that sound is coming from, because I can't drive with rattling. So yeah, if you're serious serious about inking, I hesitated getting this brush just because it was so expensive, and I'm like, does it really matter? Does the tool really matter? It helps a lot. It makes the process, like, I love inking with this brush. It just makes the process so enjoyable when you're not fighting with like a crappy tip, or you know, wrestling with it putting down the ink well. So it makes a difference. And I'm pretty cheap too, so it takes a lot for me to admit like, it was worth the money. All right, here comes the meatball ear. It's funny how, at least on this page, Eisner's kind of just cramming in these word balloons willy-nilly. It's not like it's really sophisticated how he puts the word balloons in. They're just like all jammed in there. Like it's a bunch of tangents on the characters' heads with these word balloons. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Couldn't find the kind of brush that was on my list for school, since he said we'd move into ink in like maybe 3 weeks, so I just picked up a watercolor brush. Yeah, I would look for a sable brush if you can. I don't know if watercolor brushes are all sable brushes. Sable's a really good material for ink. I can get pissed to emo, but for some reason when I do, I turn green and swell up really big. No idea why. Yeah, they do. They really do. Do you lose your ability to speak clearly, Mark's music obsession? They gypped you. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was definitely like a faulty brush, especially when I got this one, same exact brush. I was like, this is what I was expecting. And the other one was like, wow, everybody's been raving about this brush, but this one's not that great. And no matter what I did, like wet it and clean it and put ink on it, it just didn't come to a point. Even Shant spotted. He was on that stream and he spotted it and he was like, it shouldn't be like that. So it should be obviously clean point. Oh, sorry. Let's go way over. Love these marks here on, I guess let's see on the original. Like, he like breaks up the line so it's not like a clean, like connected line all the way, but he's indicating the shadow underneath the lapel. And so your eye puts it all together, but they're just like marks. If I was just putting down the marks for mark's sake and didn't understand that that was a collar or a lapel, I'd be a little confused, but it's pretty neat. And I wonder if it's like a style thing, or is it like he's just lifting up his hand while he's inking, and so it breaks the line? It's just moving so fast. Probably all of the above. So as you've noticed, I have not reloaded my brush yet. Still going. I think the one I picked up was around $15. Okay, so that's a decent, that should be a decent quality brush. Just try it out. You really don't know until you try it out. I've known some of your family members. Oh, you can hear it. You can hear that zzz. I think it's just picking up from the computer. Car noises rattle your cage, in other words, Rocky. Yeah, they drive me a little crazy. You're like my dad. I think it's his other truck that something in the dash rattles. He'll literally beat it till it stops. And the crazy thing with that, too, is the sound will travel. Oh, man. I can't wait till I buy a better mic, because this mic, you can hear all the noise. See? This kind of rattling thing drives me crazy. Yes, the sound, however it reflects in the car or whatever, it's like you think it's coming from this end of the car, but then you open up everything, you can't hear it, and you still rattle. Oh my gosh, that kind of stuff just drives me nuts. And I literally might usually stop the car, and I'm like, I can't drive until I figure out where this sound is coming from. Like, look how thin that feathering is. So nice. So nice. I don't know if you guys caught. Some of you guys were on stream last night on in Shanth's chat last night. He did a stream where he was just chatting and talking, and then he had Eric Weathers joined in, and it was awesome because I guess Eric just recently finished the pencils for Battlebrick Road 2, which is a super successful campaign right now going on in the indie CG market. And he just finished the pencils, and his reward for it was opening up these huge quarter scale Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the original movie figures, and they were awesome. They were really cool, and I can't believe like he didn't open them the whole time he was drawing. That was his reward for finishing the pencils. So it was a great amount of restraint not opening that up. Still haven't loaded up my brush again, or yet. Just holds a great amount of ink. But yeah, I haven't collected any kind of high-end toys in a while. I don't have the space for it. I'm spending, and I don't have the money for it. I'm just spending more of my money on comic stuff. I used to buy quite a bit of toys. But those toys looked amazing. They were really well sculpted. Looked like authentic replicas of the movie costumes. And you could just see the joy on Eric and Shanth's face as he was opening those up. Oops. Yeah, can you see how thin I'm still? Like, this is what I'm in. Like, 5 minutes into inking. Haven't had to reload the brush. And the tip is still pretty thin. And the ink is coming out consistently. I think that's the thing, like when you don't have to reload the brush, constantly reload the brush, less and less buildup of ink drying in the brush and then like messing up with your tip, with the tip. So kind of serves double duty of giving you a better experience. My commitment to ink is TBD. Probably depends on how annoying I find it to be when we start in class, though given my history with paint, I do not have high hopes. I mean, the great thing with ink is it's just like it's binary, right? It's like it's either on there or it's not. It's black or it's white. Don't have to worry about color theory order, and it's all about the mark. It's great. Are you guys just doing like inking still life, or are you inking comics? That would be cool. I wish I was able to take. I never took any comic class when I was in college. There was no class that was offered, ironically, at an art school. And Shant would have lots to say about this because we went to the same school and he was all about comics when he got there, and so was I. But there was no comics class offered. And I know some art schools, right now I need to reload. I know some art schools focus or have a focus on comic illustration, which is cool. There was another school that I was considering going to. It was called the Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. And that one, I know that one of the big reasons I was considering that one is because it had a comics program, comic illustration program, and the school that I went to didn't. But then when I was... So my focus of study at college ended up being animation. So I started off, it was like in the film, which was in the film department, film, animation, and video. And so once I was on that track, it was harder to take classes that were more illustration focused. And I think it was maybe my junior year was when they had the first comic book class, one of the first comic book classes that they offered at the time at my school. I don't know how it is now. And that class was taught by David Mazzucchelli, the guy who drew Batman Year One, Daredevil Born Again, and I really wish I took that class. Because, like, what are the chances of learning from a master like that? However, I'll let Shant tell this story on his own, but he took that class because he was in the illustration department, and he did not like that class at all. And part of it is, I think at the time, if not even now, Mazzucchelli almost had an adverse reaction towards superhero comics, which is so ironic because he's done some of the greatest superhero comics ever. But he was not into them at all. And so anybody who was into superhero comics kind of got poo-pooed on in his class. And so Shant had a very, very negative experience with that class, which is sad. Because you're thinking like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is why I went to school. Finally, a class taught by a master. And the reason why Mazzucchelli taught that class was he went to our school too. Before we were there, but he graduated from our school too. But it's really sad that was kind of what Shant left with. It was just like, this sucks. So I kind of wish I took the class, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. I don't know. Let's see. Explained what makes it rattle, but it's been so long since I couldn't tell you what it was. Will you beat on your brushes until they work? Emo trash. Better go eating phone time. What? You're eating your phone? Yeah. It'll probably be still life. There's no way in hell this professor is going to have us inking comics, Rocky. That's too bad. Comics always gets a bad rap. And it's such a beautiful, incredible art form. I just hate that. Similarly, I'd say like animation kind of gets this like bastard stepchild a little bit of filmmaking. It's a kid's thing. And I hate that. Oops. Mm-hmm. Sorry, let me just check my phone. Make sure nobody is stranded. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Let me just double check something here. Let me put my phone over here so I can notice if some sort of emergency happens. Okay. Everybody's okay. Everybody's alive. Whoops. Sorry. It's like we've heard it described, the generation I'm in, the age that I am in, the station of life I am in, the season of life I am, is the sandwich generation, where you have kids of your own and they're growing up and you're trying to navigate that of like, okay, I'm no longer in the wiping your butt and providing, feeding you phase of your life. Like you're starting to be more independent and grow up. And then you also have parents who are getting older and you're starting to have to take care of them more. They're not as independent as they were. And so you're sandwiched in between. And then you're probably going through your own midlife crisis or whatever it is. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So it's like I'm checking in on both my kids and my parents, making sure everybody is all right. And when they're both in the same area, like they are now, makes it doubly interesting. It's really cool to see how, totally different subject, it's really cool to see how the feathering and the hatching, depending on the direction of the feathering and the hatching, oops, that was too blobby, how they affect the lighting or the way that the dimensionality of what you're feathering feels. Like where it gets thick to thin kind of changes. So making sure I'm following the same directionality of the feathering for the most part. It's not just random sawtooth edge to a shadow. There's purpose there. What's up, Comrade Sammy, Chat Ninja? What happened? Did you step on your keyboard? How are you doing? Oh, missed the notification. No problem. I've been going an hour, Comrade Sammy. You're late. Oh, is Katie streaming right now? Darn it. I didn't mean to overlap on that. Whoops. Sorry, Katie. Makes sense as why I missed it. I was busy making fried rice. Mmm. Technically eggs or chicken. Yeah, eggs in fried rice. That's a good one. I love fried rice. Can't go wrong with fried rice. We had some Korean food the other day and leftover kimchi from the Korean food. And my wife took that kimchi and made a kimchi fried rice out of it. And that was really good. So yeah, it's kind of can do a lot with fried rice. So versatile. I'm going to use a different brush here. I'm not going to waste my Winsor Newton on big, thick black areas. So I'm going to use this Dick Blick brush, which is a cheaper brush. This brush is probably a couple dollars. I think I got this from Hobby Lobby, possibly. And I'm going to use it to fill in this black area here. I have like a couple brushes that are like my fill in the large black area brushes, and then I save the Winsor Newton for the most part for the actual like lines that matter. And then I have a different brush for like the white when I do the reverse cut in with the white ink. But I don't know, some of the white areas are pretty detailed in this page, so I might have to use the Winsor Newton on those. We'll see. This one gets a little nice point too. So you notice, I don't know if this is the ink or because when I was penciling it, I was using the side of my pencil to fill in this like dark area here, just to color it in, and then I printed it out, scanned it in, color corrected, then printed out these pencils to ink on top. But the black ink is not fully sitting on top of it, and I don't know if that's because it's like on top of the printed ink. It doesn't sit totally well. Now that there's the black ink spatter, right? But I had to go over it a little bit, a couple times. Jeez. Hang on a second. Oi, oi, oi. Parenting. Let me catch up on the chat just to get my mind clear here. Katie streamed earlier. Okay. Tell whoever you're talking to we said hi. I wish it was that kind of conversation. It wasn't. What was Katie doing on her stream? Conrad Sammy drinking tea. Hello all. What's up, Ferris Comics? Good to see you too. Thanks for joining us. We're having a weird stream right now, but just trying to get some inking done before the weekend because this page demands it. This page is taking me way longer than the other pages. I'm already on part 6 of this master study, or 6 episodes of this master study. And I think the most I've done for the other ones is 5, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not even halfway done on this page. So, yeah, that's a little tough. That's a little stressful. I don't know what I'm stressed up about. Like, this is my own channel. I can do whatever the heck I want, and the timing can be whatever it is, but I feel like I'm behind. Oh, I just realized I'm not using, not using the Winsor Newton brush. But this one's okay right now, just for what I'm doing. This is also a sable brush. I think that's the key for inking, is getting a sable brush. This is also a number 2, which is actually a lot smaller than the Winsor Newton number 2. So I don't know if number 2 is a standard size, or it's just like each number 2 is different depending on what brand you get. But I can already feel this one is fraying faster than the Winsor Newton was. So I'm not gonna stay on this brush for much longer. Just going to use up the ink that's on it. All right. Clean that off. Switch back to the Winsor Newton. Oh, this is going to be fun, this section here. Anytime I see like a nice, thick, thin line, I start salivating a little bit of like, oh, that's going to be so good to ink. Yeah, it just feels like just a real-time comparison of the brush I was just using and jumping back to the Winsor Newton. The Winsor Newton just feels a lot cleaner. The brush, the way it holds the ink, how it's holding its point, it's very nice. And that the other brush, the Dick Blick one, was fraying pretty quickly as it was drying out, and I feel like this one doesn't do that as quick. That's really sloppy though. I don't know how they got it so clean. Oh, I know how they got it so clean. I bet what he did was he turned it like this and then did a thick thin. Dang it. Yep, I think that's what he did. Ah well. Live and learn. Get to chat in a second. Oops. It's like sometimes you want to do the hatch lines going from a thick to thin out of the black, and sometimes you want to reverse it where you're going from a thin to thick into the black. Very complicated. Maybe I'm making it too complicated, but it's a little sloppy. I might cut into that, back into that with white later. Okay, that's looking cool. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my gosh. Ferris Comics. She was drawing a little Halloween-inspired scene. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so like thrown off. The brush he wants us to get is some kind of bamboo calligraphy brush. Oh, maybe you're doing like kind of calligraphic line. Emo trash. Cranberry Lander says, I wish I could show you guys my Japanese style traditional portraits. You could do it on stream. Oh, long gone. All right, sorry. Do another one. Draw a skull in a Japanese style brush pen. Wouldn't even go as far as to say I don't particularly care either, since I really don't see myself using them outside of classes. Well, that's not the right attitude. You never know. You might love it. You might love it. You might be stressed because you're inking while your future and past generations of your family are in potential danger. Could be that. Yes, I think that's it. I think that's throwing me off. They're not in danger. They're just in need of responses from me. And I kind of want to just disappear into the world of inking for a little bit. But sometimes you can't. Like that line right there, when I start off thin and then just pushed a little bit more pressure to get that thickness, that was so satisfying. And I think that's what the control that this brush gives you, and the variation of thickness that this brush gives you is really nice. I haven't noticed, but hopefully has the color shifted on the close-up cam? I didn't notice it. They go pink. I was wondering if that yellow post-it was what did it. Because sometimes when you have autofocus or auto exposure, which is what's going on when that color shifts, it's trying to white balance to whatever is the majority color they're seeing, that it's sensing on screen. And so I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if it's trying to white balance to this yellow post-it, which is why it's making everything pink. Just holding my breath again. Turn it this way. Ferris Comics says, I'm sitting in a trailer in Tennessee. Oh, my goodness. Stay safe. I guess you're starting to get the results of Helene coming your way, so stay safe. Hopefully all is well. Okay, let's see. Emotress says, looks to me that the worst of the storm should be more towards Kentucky, but then again, the back half of the hurricane tends to be rough regardless of placement of the eye. It's pretty much crickets outside here, just overcast and still occasional rain. Nothing crazy. I also only speak the truth, Rocky. I've hated brushes since I was a kid. Really doubt that's going to change now. So what is your medium of choice then? Is it charcoal? I know you had said you were doing charcoal before, but weren't you getting frustrated with the charcoal as well? What is your medium of choice, Emo Trash? If you were given one, if you were on a remote island and you could only pick one artistic tool to create artwork that would give you a sense of purpose and life as you sat there contemplating your survival, what tool would it be? Would it be a pencil? Color pencils? Markers? I remember I had some friends in college, all they would use was Caran d'Ache, even to like draw comics. They would do comics using Caran d'Ache, which is kind of this soft, pastel-y medium. It was crazy. But you could really build up, it's almost like oil pastels, and you can build up color really nicely in it, but I was like, that's not me. I think I would choose an ink brush if I were stuck on an island. I love color, but there is just something about pure line and shadow on a page that gets me every time, whether in my own work or other people's work. The most that I used in college, I did watercolor, color pencil. I was never like an oil painting kind of dude. Probably because it was too messy for me. I like the simplicity of ink. You don't have to have like turpentine and like all these different kinds of brushes and palettes and blah blah blah. It's just like, nope, just an ink brush. There we go, that's cool. The back of the shadow. Wait, let me check my messages. Okay, that person's okay. Oh boy. Windowsill. Whoops. Sorry. Yeah, once I get to a point where I can afford a higher quality mic, the mic movement would be less noticeable. Like if I hit the mic or move it around, there's a lot of better mics out there that are less noticeable. But this one, it's like I just slightly tap it and it just shakes and I can hear it. But it's considerably less than the expensive mics out there. Wow, we're almost done with this panel, guys. Super simple panel. Emo says, I'm a pencils, maybe pens kind of girly. Nice. Oh yeah, we got that. I'm not sure about the color. Stay safe, man. Ferris Comics, stay safe. Your girl almost exclusively uses pencils and colored pencils. Cool. I think that's the natural, when people get into art from young and start, it's like you're just given, somebody hands you a pencil and tells you to draw something. You don't get into the like fancy stuff unless you're lucky or like in a unique situation. You don't get into the fancy stuff until much later, and then people get more comfortable, or people are just comfortable with what they've learned growing up. To draw in the word balloon. I think I'm going to do these super thin lines with the technical pen. Color in this with, well, I don't want to waste the ink that's on this brush, so might experiment with markers someday. Yeah, like Copic markers, those are super popular, and people use them all the time and get great results on their artwork. I would recommend, if you're interested in seeing Copic markers used so well in comic book art, go check out this artist named Olivier or Oliver Coipel, Coipel. I believe he's a French artist, but he had some work on X-Men, and he's really good, and he uses Copics. If you're interested in comic art or comic artists that use watercolor really well, I would recommend looking at Alex Ross. Phenomenal comic artist. Works a lot in watercolors. And looked at some of her work before, but Peach Momoko, she also does a lot of watercolor stuff. Okay, I need to commit to these word balloons before I finish this stuff up, and then I'll do the lines. Am I missing anything else? That's all she wrote. So then I'll just use some of the ink here. I don't want to waste this ink. Oops, sorry. Off screen. All right, let me use the technical pen. There's an artist, I've reviewed one of his books before. His name is Matt Lesniewski, and he uses ballpoint pen. He did a book called Faceless in the Family, I think it was. And he used ballpoint pen. And that's a cool look. 0.1, 0.5, 0.3. Actually, chalk pastels aren't the worst either. Yeah, it's a little too... Chalk pastels are a little too messy for me. Might be added to the list as well. I only use handmade charcoal I make myself. What? Are you kidding? Ferris Comic says, I used to use mainly Prismacolor pencils. Those are great. Great tools. And you can build up a lot with those. Nice colors with those. I like the rope. The rope. Okay. Takes hella pressure to get the vibrance of the colors I get with them, but that's still my honest preference over any kind of paint. Yeah. I love how with Prismacolor pencils you can build on top of each other too. That's really nice. Okay, wait. Oh yeah. Gotta commit to these word balloons. This one overlaps with this one, and it has like a tangent with his head. This one closes up here. There we go. Now we're talking. Do another panel. Dance for me, monkey boy. No, I will. I think I have time to do another one. Because that's part of the reason why I picked these two, because they're thinner, they're smaller, and mostly just character stuff. So let me make sure I don't knock this over. And I'm just jumping between this is a 0.1 pit pen, and the other one was a 0.3. So I'm just jumping between those. These lines are pretty thin, that's why I went to the 0.1. And then I rotated the paper because for me, the angle of drawing a straight line is easier, and when I can like rotate, pivot on this axis as opposed to like this. So I know everybody has different preferences, but I find horizontally I can draw straighter lines, and going away from my body I can draw straighter lines. As I draw the like most crookedest line ever. Oop, that's way closer to, oh well. And I got these guys up here. One, two, three, four, five. All right, cool. Let's see. Let me just do a little bit of adjustments here. This head is a little wider. Little button here. Doop. Got the hatching here. Hatching here. Yeah, I think I have time to do this other panel. Unless something blows up with my kids or my parents. Knock on wood. All right, cool. Then I'll cut into the white here later when I do all that. This like reflection white here, dry brush white here. Nice. One down, guys. Not too bad, not too shabby. Not too shabby. This one will be fun. It's a really dynamic pose here. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah. Let's see. Cranberry Langer's giving me a clap. Draw out time. Watercolor pencils. Oh, I've used watercolor pencils before. I don't like them as much as straight up watercolor. There's also a difference between watercolor and gouache, emo trash. I don't know if you've ever tried gouache. Very nice. I like painting with gouache a lot. It's like an opaque watercolor. Let's see. I will probably forever be too cheap for Copic. You know, I have some Prismacolor markers that I have had since like pre-college. So they can last a while. When you plunk down money like that for certain things, they can last a while because they're high quality. So if you just amortize it over the length of its life, you might be worth it. I think I've heard of another brand called Ohuhu. Yes, I've heard of that brand. There's also Posca markers, which are like paint markers almost. Those are fun to use, but they're really hard to control for me at least. They tend to like bleed out a lot, but I've seen some people do amazing stuff with Posca markers. There's whole YouTube videos of people, like a whole following of people that love Posca markers, cult following. So looking at those. Just kidding on this throwback, Rocky. You do what you want, of course. More. More. How's the weather in Florida? If you find a copy in a store out there or know someone who has a copy of Spring Ball 2, I would be happy to pay for it and the shipping. Oh. Did you mention that earlier, Mark? Wait, why is this doubling up? Oh, no. I'm just kind of like... missed most of it. Okay, cool. If you find a copy... Yes, Mark. Let me look through my reserves, my archive, and see. I bet you I might have a copy that I can figure out a way to get to you. But give me a second to kind of look through my collection. I'm pretty sure I have more than one copy of that book, though. I didn't realize issue 2 was harder to find than issue 1. Need a little bit more ink. Yeah, let's get into the second panel. I have time. 4 o'clock. This will be a good one. Look at all these beautiful lines that will be to ink. These folds. Wow, I was really off on my pencils here just looking at the original. That's not good. No, now I gotta like wing it here to correct this. Who penciled this? Yes. Guy should be fired. Did not set it up. I always wonder that too. Not having been a professional comic book artist myself, or inker for that matter, like, there's definitely a shorthand or where the penciler ends and the inker begins. That is fascinating. And if you don't have a good relationship with whoever it is inking you or coloring you or whatever, then that could fall apart really quickly. Or like how, as an inker, how you interpret somebody's pencil lines, the choices you make. I just saw an interesting post on X. Somebody was talking about the team up of the partnership of Jim Lee and Scott Williams, who has been his main inker since forever, and just how they're like a perfect pairing. They've worked with each other since, as far as I can know. But there's a huge amount of like trust level there between the two of them, and I wonder like how detailed, and that affects how detailed or how accurate a penciler is. And when they hand off stuff, I've heard stories of how, depending on who the inker is, a penciler's work could be a lot tighter or looser if they trust that inker. And I'm already having issues like with my own pencils. I'm the penciler and the inker, and I don't trust what these marks I made. It's not a good sign. Gosh, this is so tiny. This is probably one of the reasons I've always asked, like, why would people ink over original pencils? This is probably why, because what I'm inking over is scanned in and leveled and color change to non-photo blue of my original pencils. And I'm already losing some of the detail. Like, I can't see some of the detail that I think was in my pencils but got lost in the scan. So that's probably why people paint ink over the original pencils, because you won't lose any of that stuff. It's really hard to see for this like tiny detailed stuff. Let me pull out the pencil page. So this is like the scanned one, right, that I'm inking over. And then this is the penciled one, which actually, that doesn't look much better. It looks actually worse. But I had to make it lighter so that I can see, but I did lose some of the detail that I put into the pencil. I just proved myself wrong. That look worse. It'd be worse to ink over that. Much harder to find is Rocky Ballesteros art. Just not... Not yet, Mark. Not yet. Not yet. I did have in my illustrious career, I did have a couple of art shows that I was part of where I did paintings. And I sold paintings. But I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't painted in a long time. I can't wait to the point where I can sell comic art. That'd be awesome. Both in comic book form, like a final product like that, but also in original art. If I ever get to the point where I can sell original art, that would be great. Tie. Oh gosh. Spirit's hair. Ugh. I love how Spirit's mask, right here, this top part of his mask, serves double duty. It's both the top of his mask and his eyebrow. Which is very cool. Very cool device. Probably an expectation you anticipate from your inkers, pencilers. Yeah, strains my eyes, no kidding. Oof. Ouch. Cranberry Lander says, that was cool how they did that back in the day. The mask working as eyebrows, eyes, same with Spider-Man's eyes. Yeah, it's kind of genius. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get a clear expression out of your character. And I know different Spider-Man artists, varying degrees of how much they altered his mask, Spider-Man's mask, as he like squinted his eyes, or and then the decision. I was always like observing the decision that they would make, whether when Spider-Man would close his eyes, would the whole mask pinch, or would it just be the white part that did it? And every artist did it differently. I'm trying to think which one I like the best. I don't know. I think in reality, like how they did it in the movies, I think it's just the white that would close, and the actual black around it would stay permanent, and then just the white would pinch. But like sometimes in the comics, the whole black and white would pinch like that, depending on how exaggerated it was. And that was cool. That's kind of a cool thing. It's almost, you read more of like, that's his face. That's not a. That's not somebody with a mask on. That's, the mask is the face. You guys noticed anything changing colors? Probably not. I haven't been looking. Little bird has come to rob me in Grandma's bowls. Some Some concoction of smoked sausages, potatoes, onions, and corn, and probably V8? That's what you're eating? Wow. I think the eye's shrinking. I appreciate the black though. Yeah. The mask is just very thick eyeshadow. Yeah, that's kind of how it was treated in some cases. Peter Parker is the mask as well. He's more Spider-Man-y than Peter Parker-y. True. Same can be said of Batman. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some versions of Batman that they draw the mask and then you can see the eyeball inside the mask. So it's like definitely the man inside the mask. Gary Frank did that in Batman Earth 1. Gary Frank did that where you can see the man behind the mask. Or it's just the white pupils, which I kind of like better. And that's where you feel like the mask is the man kind of thing. Yeah, it just depends on how realistic you want to go. Like that line of realism. Wait. Okay, am I doing it thick to thin? Yes, I think that's what I'm doing, right? Thick to thin. Oops. Gotta cut back into white there. And then this is thick to thin this way. That turned out nice. For once. The feathering is out of control. I was thinking about this the other night. I'm thinking of doing a recorded video, not live, of after I'm done with each one of these master studies, doing a recorded video of kind of how I do like the closer look videos, but basically just like what did I learn like from the inking? Like, yeah, cool, I'm done, finished it, but what were the things that I learned about doing each one of these processes? Let me know if you guys think that would be cool to see. Because I know that I'm like on the fly saying, oh, it's interesting about this and this and this, of what this artist is doing, but I kind of feel like I need to like recap it at the end of like the top 3 things I learned from inking or from doing a master study of Will Eisner's work. I don't know. It's also more work. But it's cool. It will give me time to like think about it as opposed to like on the fly having to come up with the answer in real time. Give me a chance to like digest it a little bit. that would be interesting to any of you, let me know. Because one thing I did notice, this channel has for sure gone more live stream than not, which is great. It's cool. It's been fun. Totally different aspect. But I also don't want, I mean, there's also like a purpose that you can get from recorded videos or edited videos that you can't do live necessarily. Dang ropes. Little bird has now settled on my shoulder. Wow. I just imagine your house is like Ace Ventura Pet Detective emo trash. Like animals crawling everywhere. And you're like, come to me, my animal friends. Like, that's totally how I imagine it. Cranberry Lander says, I haven't noticed the colors changing too much. Maybe it was that Post-it. Don't let it poop on you. Yeah, don't let him poop in your food either. He poops where he wants, which often does tend to be on me. That is when the animal would die, in my opinion. That's when he would cease to exist, if he decided to like take a crap on me. I had a friend in college who, she kind of had a psycho devil cat. She was such a sweet person. And I don't know how she got this cat. I want to say it was like a stray that she picked up. But it ended up being this like psycho cat, and she didn't have the heart to like get rid of it. But one of the things the cat would do would, in the middle of the night, would jump up on her bed and just like take a dump on her while she was sleeping. And I thought, when that happens, that is when that cat meets its maker, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing that cat can do to really redeem itself from doing that. That's a dominance thing that like will not fly in my world. Like, you cannot treat me like that, cat. And also that cat, this friend of mine, she was super sweet. She was like a shorter girl, and she had these glasses, and she said the cat would jump up, like sit in front of her, and would jump up in the air and swat the glasses off her face. Just seemed like a psycho cat. And I love animals, but dang it, that animal was not kind. So yeah, pooping on me, I don't know. Too bad they don't do the white pupils in the movies. Yeah. For Batman, yeah. I mean, to translate that to movie, it's like so natural and so normal to have that visual language in comic books. To see it in the movies would be kind of different. It works for some characters. I don't know if it would work for Batman. They did it for the crappy Batman. Or sorry, my opinion of the crappy Batman. I know some people love Batfleck, but they did it for that Batman and Superman. Like when he was in the costume, I think it was Batman Superman, where he was in the Frank Miller inspired armor. They give him white pupils there, but they were like kind of glowing white, which made sense for that armor. But that didn't look good for me. I didn't like the way that looked. And then I know for the like Tim Burton Batman, Michael Keaton, or most of the other Batmans, they would just make him darken his eyes in the suit. And that made sense. Other than the fact of like imagining Bruce Wayne putting on dark mascara before he went out to fight villains was a little weird. Boom, boom, boom. I just love, wow, that was dangerous. I just love how harsh that angle is on Spirit's back. My mother has collected him now. Is it Louis? Are we talking about Louis here? I like the way it's turning out. Looks great. Thank you, Cranberry. That would be a good idea. I would enjoy that, seeing what you've learned. Okay, cool. I'll try it out. We'll see how it sounds like a good video. Cool. Yeah, I'll try it out. I think it would be good for me to be able to articulate what it is I learned, because to be honest, I know I learned a lot, but to have to sit down and like write it out and articulate it will be super helpful, because I'll be like, oh yeah, that is what I learned. Because otherwise, if you just ask me on the fly, I'd just be like, it's really hard. It's really hard. They're really good. I don't know what I'm doing. That's pretty much what I would say on the fly. But if I had sat down and said like specifics, I think it would be good. And then also I can kind of film the pages a little better too, as the visual to go along with what I'm saying. So yeah, I'll try that out. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for that feedback. Did he get that? Did he cut into that with white? Oh. I know how he did that. He went backwards. He went from thick to thin this way. Yes, that's what he did. See? There we go. Definitely what I learned the most, which would be in that video for this page, is the directionality of the hatching, which I still haven't learned really, but I'm starting to kind of pick up on how he created certain effects depending on which direction he hatched. That cat was sending a message. Yeah. The bird we had before we got Louis used to eat my old glasses. Wow, how did they do that? I think they did it for the most recent Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Did what? Had to watch her like a MF Hawk because she used to take chunks off the sides of my glasses, and she was also notorious for pulling my ouch. Oh my gosh! I thought Ben Affleck's version of Batman was the closest to the what? No, no, I couldn't stand his version. Better than Keaton? Get out. I think Keaton's my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck was just such a bummer as Batman, and I know he has got a depressing history, origin story, but just Ben Affleck in general gives off a real other than Good Will Hunting, he's just been a bummer in movies. He's good. He's a good actor, but yeah, I did not like him as Batman at all. Marty, my friend Marty, he loves Batfleck. I joke with him about it all the time, but he loves Batfleck. It's a little bit more squishy than the original, but well. Pow. I liked Adam West as Batman too. I liked his Batman a lot. I mean, different vibe, but Kevin Conroy, obviously, in Batman the Animated Series, one of the best Batman incarnations. Actually, the guy who is Batman now in that new Bruce Timm series. Sorry, I keep hitting this mic. He's good. The guy who does the voice for Batman, he's good. He killed too many people in those movies, though. Yep. I don't know. I forgot what kind of parrot she was exactly. I think it was something from Brazil, maybe. Those crazy, crazy birds. Got munched in here a little bit. All right, here comes a little tiny details. Okay, if Ben Affleck was your favorite Batman, who was your favorite Joker? I think maybe I had this in my brain because I think they were having this conversation on Jason's channel. Who's your favorite Joker? Who's your favorite Catwoman? And who's your favorite Spider-Man? For me, I'd have to say, for Spider-Man, I liked all the different Spider-Men that there've been, which there've been a lot. Like when each one came out, I'm like, wow, that's a great Spider-Man. As far as actors, I think Tom Holland is my favorite because he maybe it's because he's the most recent, but he also embodies the youthfulness of a Peter Parker and the seriousness of Spider-Man and kind of the responsibility he has to bear. And he's a good actor. Tom Holland is, like, really can do the dramatic and the goofy. I think I liked Tobey Maguire when he first came out, but he just became super cheesy after the second movie. And then he felt old, as actors go. He's the oldest, but just felt old in the new Spider-Man movie where they had all the different Spider-Man show up. Like, he definitely felt old in that one. And I liked Andrew Garfield. I thought he was good. He definitely had the crying tragedy Spider-Man. But for some odd reason, he had the build for Spider-Man too, his body type. But for some odd reason, I always read him as like a British dude trying to be an American, because he is as an actor. He didn't feel authentically New York. And even though Tom Holland is also a British actor playing Peter Parker, he feels authentically New York, which is weird. I think non-live videos are more creative, exceptions aside, more artistic. Yeah, they can be, for sure, because you can plan them out better. Orange wing Amazon was the bird. The eyes, white eyes. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, I didn't like Wolverine's eyes as much. But I do love Deadpool's expressions and how they treat Deadpool. I think he's perfect in the movies, how they've handled his face mask. So yeah, but when I saw Wolverine, like, his costume looked cool, but then with the eyes, I was like, it does look like he has like flashlights on his eyes a little bit. Which I know Wolverine has white eyes in the comics, and they look normal in the comics, but then when you do it in live action, it's like, some odd reason it doesn't work as well. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Oh my gosh, this hair. I think I'm gonna have to cut in with white on that part. Yeah, there's no way I can do that. Negative. Okay, more than halfway done with this panel. Exciting. Gonna get 2 panels done today. guy's expression's awesome. Ugh. Didn't hurt when she popped my earrings off. She just kept sliding the backs off. Oh gosh. How did you not notice a bird was taking your earrings off? Like, how did you not notice that? Just in proximity of your head and your ear, you didn't notice that. I like Keaton's rendition of the Batman the best, but Affleck's was the most comic accurate Batman. The way he looked, maybe. I don't know. Was the bird running rings around you? Oh boy. Lewis Wilson is the best Batman. Lewis Wilson? What? Okay, wait. Ferris Comics just posted a link. Hold on. Now I gotta click on it. Ferris Comics posted a link. Lewis Wilson. Oh my goodness. This is from the like old days. I don't even know what his performance is like. I'll have to watch that later. That's a great reference though. Thank you. Batman the Animated Series is one is great, but it doesn't count because it's not live action. Meh. Does it though? It doesn't. Kevin Conroy, man, that voice, so iconic as Batman. It's really hard to not hear that voice when I read Batman comics. All right, time to reload up. I'll clean this off and then catch up on catch up on chat, and then reload it up before. Ferris oh yeah. To be honest, that's closer to true than you'd think. We ended up losing her because she literally flew away. Oh no, I'm sorry. Is that the one from the old black and white vignettes, Ferris Comics? Those are awesome. Yes. Jack Nicholson is my favorite live action Joker. I would agree with you there. He was great. I loved Heath Ledger's version. That was so creepy. But there's something about that Jack Nicholson version that was just perfect. It was both creepy and funny and unpredictable and charming. And I think Heath Ledger was just creepy, but I loved his performance. Favorite Catwoman was Michelle Pfeiffer. Agreed, 100%. Favorite live action Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. Really? Okay. It was less bulky. I like that he wasn't bulky. I liked his build. I thought his build was pretty good. Like, I think Tom Holland he's good too, for sure. His build, like, he's more muscular, but he's a little shorter than I would imagine Spider-Man. Favorite Spider-Man of all time was the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse one. The the Peter Parker one or the Miles Morales one? Both were good. Though they made him... Oh, okay, the Peter Parker one. They got him perfect-ish. Yeah, he was really good. Spider-Verse movies are the only Spider-Man movies I've seen, period. What? Emo trash? Really? I mean, they're great movies. But you haven't seen the other movies? So I recommend... My recommendation for Spider-Man movies would be, if you had to pick essentials. Spider-Man 2 is the best Tobey Maguire movie. Arguably still one of the best comic book movies out there. So good. It has Doc Ock in it, and Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is perfection. Such a good cast for that one. For the Tom Holland Spider-Man one, which one was good in that one? Those were all good. I mean, I really enjoyed all of them. I think... I maybe arguably Spider-Man had better. No, I guess I don't know. I like the one. It's confusing though if you haven't seen any Spider-Man movie and then you watch the third Tom Holland one. I can't remember what the name of that one was. Something something verse or something coming. No, it wasn't coming home. I don't know. Whatever the third Tom Holland Spider-Man one, the most recent one. I really like that one, but you have to have watched like all the Spider-Man movies to get that one because there's a lot of crossover in that. But those are fun. Those are really fun. There's that one where he goes to Italy, and then the one. Well, I got the first one was good too. That was good. And then the Andrew Garfield one. I think the first one of the Andrew Garfield one was my favorite. I didn't like the one with Electro. That wasn't the first one, was it? I didn't like Electro. I didn't like Electro at all. I didn't like the casting of Electro or how they handled him. It was just so different from the comics. I think Jamie Foxx is a great actor, but I don't think he's Electro. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is amazing. She was the best Catwoman. I know that the TV series Catwoman were really good too. Eartha Kitt and Yvonne Craig, I think, was the first Catwoman. They were really good too, but Michelle Pfeiffer, man, she was awesome. Nobody compares to her. And that rendition of Catwoman was amazing. All the more recent Catwomen I have not liked. I thought the Kevin Nolan Catwoman, she was okay. She had some good things about her, but was not the greatest. And then the recent Catwoman in the Batman, I didn't like her at all. Ugh. Ouch. You should watch some other ones I recommend. Amazing Spider-Man series. Yes. The way Batman looked and fought, that's it. Batman is supposed to be able to punch holes in concrete. He's supposed to look inhuman. Yeah, that was, I think, the year before I graduated, maybe 2. He didn't even have her for a year. We also just kind of inherited her from family. Rocky, we've discussed that I don't watch Marvel. There's some great Marvel movies. Great Marvel movies. DC movies, not so great. The only DC movie that I really enjoyed was the first Wonder Woman. That's where casting made all the difference. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was great. She was awesome. Not only because she was beautiful, but like she was confident. She had that like kind of exotic quality to her. She was strong yet sexy. Yeah, she was great cast for that. She had good chemistry with Chris Pine. The second movie, Wonder Woman 1984, was a disaster. I did not like that movie at all, which was a shame. And the other movies, like I did not like Justice League. I've seen both cuts, the regular one and the Snyder cut. Didn't think it really helped that much. I definitely didn't like Batman and Superman. That was horrible. Okay, this is going to be tricky. I'm going to go this. I think I'm going to go this direction. But I'll turn this around. I'll work on that later. I did not like the Aquaman movie. I only saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. I did not see Blue Beetle. The Flash was okay. It wasn't that great. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it wasn't. It wasn't incredible. I hated Cyborg. That character Cyborg was horrible. Really stiff. Gosh, his head is huge. He made his head really huge. It's okay. You live, you learn. Suicide Squad was okay. Peacemaker series was okay. The first Suicide Squad wasn't that great. The James Gunn Suicide Squad was pretty entertaining. Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. Okay. Calm down now. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not my Spider-Man either, but I like him in the Spider-Verse movies. And technically in those movies he's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 was the best Sam Raimi Spider, absolutely. My only Marvel endeavors have been Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Verse. Did you like Guardians? I really liked Guardians. Thought those were great movies. Great characters. The casting in that was super fun. Yeah, we'll see what James Gunn does with DC. We'll see what he does with Superman. The Brandon Routh Superman was okay. Some parts of it were okay. The Snyder Superman, I didn't like it as much as some people did. You got to watch the original Superman, the Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman. That's one of the best superhero movies out there. That's one of the best incarnations of Superman for sure. I got that soundtrack stuck in my head now. Peter Parker. I agree. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yes, yes, yes. I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Don't worry. I've seen clips of the various Spider-Man movies, so I kind of get the gist. Just never felt the need to investigate further. It's fun. Spider-Man's great. Great character. They do kind of reinvent him every time, so it does get a little tedious because you're kind of seeing his origin story every time, a different take on his origin story. But it's cool. They each capture, I'd say they each one of those iterations, those different actors capture different parts of Spider that are true to Spider-Man. They get some parts right, some parts not as right. But they're fun. They're fun movies. Oh yeah, I think the first Amazing Spider-Man was with the lizard, right? Yeah. And then the second one was with Electro, which was horrible. But that one they focused on Mary Jane, which was kind of cool. They focused on Gwen Stacy. And then the other movies, the Sam Raimi ones with Tobey Maguire, focused on MJ, which, other than the way she looked, I'd argue that that MJ was pretty good. And then they just totally changed her outright with the casting of Zendaya in the Tom Holland Spider-Man. They just changed her totally. But I do like Zendaya as Mary Jane, even though she's not the Mary Jane of the comics. I do kind of like her. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I think she has screen presence and she taps into something that's really enjoyable to watch on screen. Whoop. I definitely made his head way too big, but that's okay. Okay, there. Boom, boom. Crikey. This. Oh yeah. I'm going to turn this around like this. Ooh, I should put my white Post-its here so that I'm not smearing. Oops. Oops. And kind of comes down straight from here. I gotta use the pit pens on this one. Woo! So exciting. Almost done. Okay, cleaning out the brush, checking the chat. That's my rhythm. Going to the pit pen. Peter Parker is supposed to be a genius, and the Electro one was the second ASM movie who wasn't Electro. Played that character well, though. Would have enjoyed seeing Electro. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like him. I wanted to see, like, for Electro, I wanted to see the, like, star. It would look cheesy, but if they could have done it cool, like the star costume, and he was weird. He was a weird character. I didn't like him at all. Like with eels, electric eels, or something. I don't know. The first Wonder Woman was good, but her bust and thighs were too small. Okay, fair enough. She played the character great, though. Really enjoyed that Wonder Woman. Yeah, me too. Okay, now I'm at the laundromat. It's a little different than the comic book store. Guys, I'm making art too with mud. What? Are you making mud shelves? What's going on? I'm getting a level of sass that insinuates I'm coming off as if I was invested. Technically clay, but mud sounds more unhinged. Wow, are you sculpting something? I was talking to Shant about this. Like, what were we talking about? The sculpts of... What were we talking about? Something about the sculpts of, I think, toys. Maybe we're on the subject of toys. But we were just saying how both in college, because at our college you had to take foundation. Everybody had to, no matter what your major was, freshman year you had to take foundational classes, and the foundational classes were drawing. They're studio classes, so like 6 hours a day, drawing, 2D design, and 3D design. And that could be, depending on your teacher, that could be anything. Like, some people would do color theory, some people would do painting, some people would do composition. Like, it was just whatever for like 2D. Same with 3D. It was like some people would do sculpting, some would do woodworking. So it was kind of varied. Even though we were all taking the foundational classes, depending on who you had as your professor, your experience would be pretty varied. And I was asking Shant, I was like, did you like 3D design? And he was like, nope. And I was like, yeah, I didn't like mine either. I kind of wish I did, because I like working with my hands on stuff. I like building things. Part of one of the potential careers I was hoping to get into at the time, I'd still love to do it, but it's kind of impossible now. But one of the potential careers was like the Jim Henson creature shop or something, because I love the idea of building puppets and costumes and designing mechanisms, like to do character movement or facial expressions or whatever. Like, I really, really love that stuff. And the closest I got to do that was like making my kids' Halloween's costumes. And I would go pretty far out with those. Even to the point where there was one year, because I would start like way early and like in August sometimes, and like planning it out and talking to my kids about what they wanted to do and just coming up with some elaborate stuff. And I would also take over our living room or dining room or whatever with all the stuff, just all the like parts and pieces and what have you, materials, as I was making these costumes. So it would kind of take over our house. And I remember there's one time my wife just told me, she was like, this is too much. This is not, you are not in the Jim Henson Creature Shop. This is our house. It was fun. It was really fun. Now, it was just a limited amount of time that I could do that. But yeah, I would have loved to work on something like that. And that would be the extent of like 3D stuff I would love to work on, but never quite happened. One day, maybe. Boop, boop, doop. Okay, there's the floor. All right, cool. I'll do the white cut in later. Right here, this explosion, but I do need to do this very complicated stars. Okay. I've seen Suicide Squad, but do not remember it. Some guy named Clay, named after himself. Guess I should rephrase. I don't watch superhero. She's like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't care about this superhero comic stuff. So you're just here for us, for the good conversation, for the laughs, good times. You don't care about comics. I'll take that as a compliment. Why am I holding a pen like this? Wow, I noticed when I don't have these things capped, these pit pens, just for a little bit, like a few seconds just now, they dry out. I mean, they activate again, but they do dry out. It's weird. Oh yeah, I gotta draw that negative space in his hair. I think this is too thin. Got this guy, it's too thin. Not too thin. I think it was the right thickness. I just gotta build it up a little bit. Once again, a very complicated impact burst here by Mr. EISNER. Squiggly. Then this is overly complicated how I did this. Pow pow pow. Okay, let's see. Got this. We'll have the white streak here that I'll do later. Have this is this. Here. Got some cracks. Boom, boom. His tie. Got his tie. His pants. Oh, we got the corner here. Corner line. Pants here. Pants. Oh, hatch marks here. That, oop. Is that it? Oh, here we got boop, boop. Let's see. I need to go. Have a good night, everyone. All right, see ya, Ferris. Thanks for coming. There's a lot of natural clay where I live, so I'm making art with it. Awesome. You're so crafty. Only watched Spider-Verse for Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham was excellent. I love how they did him in 2D, too. There's the guy... Oh, I can show you guys this. This will be fun. The guy who designed, one of the main designers on Spider-Ham, is this fantastic designer. Oops. By the name of Craig Kelman. And he's super well known in the LA scene. I'd say Cartoon Network scene. I have this book by, oh, I can't really show you guys because it's so large because I'm not zoomed in. Well, I'll just show you some snapshots of his designs. They're really fun, cartoony designs. But he was the main designer on Spider-Ham, as you can see and can tell. But fun stuff. But he's worked on all the shows like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and yeah, all those Cartoon Network shows. He's worked on a lot of features too. I remember watching the first or second Guardians in theater with my dad sometime after I got an eye surgery. Get something to the mud? How about a cup? Has he been pew-pewing yet? Yes. It was the second Guardians. I'd argue the first Guardians was better. The third Guardians I thought was good. I thought it was a good wrap-up to the series. You're getting butter at this, groomsman. Nice. Thank you. You're just buttering me up. You could make a little cup if you don't have enough clay. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was, according to Avi Arad, based more on the Ultimate Spider-Man, which I hated. MJ in the Sam Raimi movies was based on the combination of Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. Yeah. Maybe make a little ninja. Oh, that's a good idea. A little ninja. A little chat ninja. Jeremy Burtz. What's up, Jeremy Burtz? Just finishing up a couple panels here on this guy. I'm just going to double check and do a quick look-see here to make sure I got everything. But I think we just worked on these two panels today. And I think we're close. I see a correction right here. But yeah, I think we're close, which is exciting. Got 2 panels out. Only 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Oh my gosh. Will Eisner is hard. I think it's just because the brush skills are so complicated. The brush work is so complicated. And I'm still getting comfortable with the brush. So yeah, this was a hard one. I knew it was going to be a hard one. But I'm just going to keep saying it's hard so you guys believe me. But hey, Jeremy Burtz, love seeing you here. Yes, ninja figurine. That's it. I call it. Good suggestion, Cranberry. There I go. There goes the pew pew. Character with electric eels would be lit, though. Mark's music obsessions walking Maggie. How does Maggie deal with the storm and all the crazy winds? I hope she's okay. I know some some animals go crazy when storms and with fireworks, all that kind of stuff. 6 hours. Wow, I'm behind. 6 hours a day is crazy. Yeah, they were long studio classes, really long. And you'd walk back from studio, it would be nighttime sometimes. And it would be depending on when your studio started, whether it was a morning studio or afternoon studio, sometimes it'd be nighttime and you'd be exhausted. You'd be covered in charcoal, walking with your big drawing board. It was crazy. And then that's not even including the winter times where it would snow. Okay, I'm jumping forward. Sculpt with your mouth and one hand. I have no clue who Electro is. Already forgot his name. Electro is one of the classic Spider-Man villains from the original run of Spider-Man. He was one of the first villains. You had the Vulture, which was in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, actually played by Michael Keaton. But he was a main villain. There was Electro. There was Sandman, who was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? Yeah, I think he was in the third Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It's kind of interesting. He actually was a good cast. Thomas Howell, I think, is the actor. I liked him as Sandman. He looked like Sandman. What other character? They had Rhino, but they tried to do a Rhino at the end of that Amazing Spider-Man, one of the Amazing Spider-Mans, and he looked horrible, horrible. I'm glad he wasn't a main villain. You have Green Goblin, which was the main character, main villain in the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He was great. And then he was also, he was the first villain in the Andrew Garfield one. I didn't like the casting of that guy. Yeah, I didn't think he was cast well for that one. I love Willem Dafoe as Goblin, Green Goblin. Did I say Green Goblin? Yeah, Green Goblin. Okay. You don't okay. What up, awesome one? Long time no see.
That's awesome.
Did you just finish dinner? What's going on with you? Cranberry, if I'm using chopsticks at that point, I could put my phone down and use my hand. Awesome one's already on it. Yo, Sculptor, what's up? Let's see. Awesome one, thank you. Glad someone recognized one of my many talents. I really like those stars. Yeah, they're crazy. The stars are cool. It's this like explosion, like this squiggly explosion that he does. And he did that on this panel as well. I can remove these. He did that on this panel as well. Very complicated impact. Check it out, guys. So this is the problem with zooming in so tight. I can't show you all the work at once. But I think once I get close to finishing this page, I will do a zoomed out view just so we can see it all in one shebang. I mean, I can show it to you on this camera, but it's kind of tiny. It's coming along. Cran is trying to take John's place. Dropped my aunt off at the airport, then watched Mega. Oh, how was it? Megalopolis? I'm really curious about one. That one is going to either be an overindulgent mess or it's going to be amazing. I'm really curious about that movie. So, how was it? Those were the good shows. Despite the downgrade in animation quality, they had great stories. First Guardians of the Galaxy was better. Yes, I agree. Never saw Guardians 3. Heard it was just a cash grab. There might be a little bit of that in there, but I really appreciated it. I thought it was good. There was good stuff in there. And it was a good wrap up to the series, to the trilogy, if you want to call it that or whatever. Storm rain caught up, been raining since last night. Let's see. Electro had the cheesy bolts coming out of his head, was a sad example for a villain. I loved it. I love that costume. If you want a list of Spider-Man villains, check out my video where I drop many of his enemies. Oh, cool. I'll check it out later, Cranberry. That's great. Great. Emo Trish says, might look, might not. So mean. So mean. We're just trying to educate you. Oh, whoops, I forgot the top of this bubble. I almost just screwed that up. That would have been horrible if I just screwed up that bubble. I got a few corrections to hit up, but let's make sure everything is here. Yep, this. Oh, the cats are waking up now. Right, cats? You guys waking up? What time is it? 5:30. That's why they're getting ready to get hungry. This. I have some white. Oh, now they're starting to fight. I'm wrapping it up. Don't worry, cats. Don't worry. Wrapping it up. For this section here, there's some white breakthrough, which this gel pen is really good for. But pretty cool. We got through 2 panels. Switch views. We did it. And my parents are still okay, I think. My kids are still okay, I think. Didn't get any crazy texts. So hopefully we're okay. I'll let you guys know next time. I'm not mean, just indifferent. A friend and me discussed the a friend and me grammar. A friend and I, me and a friend, discussed the potential Spider-Man Noir series. Oh yeah. Isn't Nick Cage with Spider-Man Noir in Spider-Verse? What's the format? It's a TV series, maybe? I heard about that. Seems I'm more picky with the heroes I do follow. That's alright. Lots of diaphanous gowns and nips. Cat's out of the bag that you're close to finishing. Not really. Halfway. Friend and I. There we go. Alright, guys. Please like. Like this stream. Please. It was a mess. It started off kind of rough because I got interrupted many times. But it's okay. I had to. I had to be interrupted. Had to be on call. But everybody seems okay. Nobody died. Nobody got lost. Nobody got kidnapped. And we got 2 panels done. Hooray for this EISNER page. It's going to be awesome. The next 3 panels are the eyeball panels, inside the eyeball panels. So that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of ink. Goodness gracious, it's going to be hard. I'm scared. But we'll get to it. Maybe I can do the 2 smaller panels first in one stream. Maybe it might be a long stream. Not like this one was short. And then the last panel, which is the 2 eye sockets, spirit in it, that might be one sit down in itself. If I can finish this in 2 more streams, that would be excellent. But who knows? Lord only knows. Just like we can't predict the weather, huh? Circle back. Just like we can't predict the weather, we cannot predict how long this page is going to take me. Good night. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. We are officially into the weekend. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Some of you have already eaten, like awesome one, burped for us. Some of you are about to eat. Hopefully none of you are in the path of the storm anymore, because that is kind of crazy. But I hope you guys are all well. It seems like you are. And I really appreciate all of you being here, all of you joining me on this Friday stream. It's been a blast. It's a great way to get into the weekend. And we'll get into it. We'll get into more of this. And then I will try and definitely work on doing a wrap-up of what I learned from each of those pages, the ones I've finished already, and then eventually this EISNER page. But doing a video that just focuses on, I don't know, top 3 lessons that I learned from doing those pages. I think that's great. I think it'll be informative, and it'll be kind of a cool video to wrap up each one. Oh, here we go. Megalopolis. It's not Megagopolis, is it? Megalopolis is very decadent with no clear good or bad guy. Everyone wants to be God or in charge. All right. So you're saying we should watch it. Was it at least like a filmic, cinematic spectacle? That's what it feels like, which I kind of am into. So I think I want to watch it. I think it's showing in IMAX in some places too, which would be kind of cool. But I'll check it out. I probably will check it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please like the stream if you can. And if you haven't subscribed, do so already. Notifications, blah, blah, blah. See you guys later.